Aloha, my name is Candace. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is a follow-up to the video titled When Things Seemingly Fall Apart. If you haven't seen that yet, please click the link in the description below and check it out and then come back to watch this one. So as you know, I got calendars printed up. They had misprints on them. I shared how I responded to that. I also did a little bit of revision as well. And what ended up happening is I got new calendars printed up, new and improved calendars with an amazing back on them. My customers have been phenomenal. They've been phenomenal. They have been so understanding, so supportive, so awesome. And so that's been really great. I have a team that is helping me with shipping. We now have international shipping available, which is really, really exciting because if it was just me shipping, I was not doing international shipping. So it all panned out wonderfully. However, I want to be fully transparent with you, and I want to share something that I realized. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to trace back my manifestation. So when things happen, I like to trace them back. I like to see what it was that I was imagining. I like to just look at the process. Part of that is because I am a coach and a teacher and a mentor. But the other part is I've always been very curious. And throughout my life, I've always been very curious about how things work. So I decided to trace back this manifestation. I wanted to trace it back and I wanted to see where did this come from? Excuse the noise of my phone. I wanted to know. So I want to say something before I share what I discovered. I want to say that when you trace something back, it is important to do it from a space of non-judgment, from compassion, and from a lightheartedness. So when you decide to trace back your manifestations, especially if something was wonky and it did not manifest the way that you wanted it to or something like that, when you trace it back, it is so important to do so from a loving space, from a place where you will not beat yourself up. Right? So you're tracing it back, but you're not going to beat yourself up when you discover something. So I decided to trace it back. I wanted to know, where did this come from? Because I knew it was me, right? I knew it was my imaginal act somehow created this entire situation. So what I found out was, or what I remembered really, when talking with my dear friend Brian Toucheron, I was talking to Brian and I realized the moment that I manifested this situation. About 2 or 3 months ago, I was in a store and I had spent, probably like $40. And they said, "Congratulations, you spent over $20. You get a free calendar." And I thought, oh, that's so exciting, cool. And they said, "What kind of calendar do you want?" I said, "I want the landscape one." So they gave me the landscape calendar and I opened it up. I'm like, this is so cool. I opened it up, looked through the pages, and then I noticed in the month of July, instead of there being a beautiful landscape photo, there was an ad. And the ad was actually cut off. So it was an error, right? It was a mistake. You're probably already laughing because you can draw the parallels between what happened to me and this moment, right? So this was like 2 or 3 months ago. I was going through the calendar of this store that they gave me this free gift, and I flipped through and saw this ad instead of the photograph, and the ad was completely cut off. It was an obvious error. And in the moment, my reaction was, this ain't no free gift. That was my actual reaction. This ain't no free gift. What is this? This is not a free gift. What is this, right? This isn't a free gift. And that was my reaction. I wasn't mad or anything like that, but I didn't I didn't do anything with that, right? I had that response and then I moved on. Like I moved on with my day, kept it going, right? Well, what do you know? 2-3 months after that, I print up my own calendars, and guess what? There's an error. And when I realized that, when I was talking to Brian, I was cracking up. Because here's the thing, you all. Our imagination is precise, right? It's precise. I forgot about that. I completely forgot about that. Completely forgot. But you know what? Imagination didn't. No, right? And it's so fascinating because when this happened, when I had my own calendars printed up and there was an error, I had that recollection of that memory was not there at all. It was not until I really sat down, I was like, all right, I'm going to trace this back. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is threefold. Number one, I always want to be very transparent with you. Always. I always want to be transparent with you. I want to share everything with you. I've agreed to do that. And so I wanted to share with you exactly where this came from. Number one, being transparent is so important because I want to include you in all of it, right? Number two, though, it reminded me of something very important, and it reminded me of the importance of lifting another person's burden, right? And Neville has a lecture. It's called Bear Ye One Another's Burden. Bear ye one another's burden. And this lecture is very important because Neville is talking about the fact that there is no other. There is no other. So while I was sitting there saying, this ain't no free gift, right? Kind of lightly criticizing this store, I was criticizing myself. There is no other. There is no other. Right? So instead of imagining them in their ideal, I just left it as this wasn't no free gift, right? And I was not bearing ye another one's burden, right? I was not, right? And there's no judgment on that. I'm not beating myself up about this at all. I find it to be a great opportunity, and I love that this happened so that I could share it with you. And so I wanted to share a quote from this lecture that So Neville says, if you really believe me, and he's talking about who you are, right? The fact that you are the one creating reality, right? He says, if you really believe me, you will not pass anyone without doing something to lift his burden. Then he continues, he says, don't let another remain carrying his burden because there is no other. I'm going to read it again. I'm going to read that again. If you really believe me, you will not pass anyone without doing something to lift his burden. Don't let another remain carrying his burden because there is no other. There is no other. There is no other. Me and that store, we're one, right? We're one. There is no other. And so my response of, no, right? That's only me doing that to myself. That's only me doing that to myself. And then 2 or 3 months later, there I am, right? There I am with my calendars with an error on them. It's absolutely hilarious now, right? It's hilarious. However, it's important. It's an important reminder. There is no other. So when someone is, not in their ideal, we have a choice of what we're going to do, right? We have a choice. And my recommendation, based on experience, is to see them in their ideal, because they are you. There is no other. There is no other. And so I'm sharing this with you. I don't want to freak anyone out. This is not about panicking or feeling like, oh my gosh, I've been critical of others. What do I do? It's really not about panicking. Please don't panic. It's more of an opportunity to see what's really going on and how this really works, right? It's about being aware of how this is working. Being aware. And then revising and seeing people in their ideal, right? Seeing yourself in your ideal, seeing others in their ideal, because there are no others. So 2 and 3 were kind of mixed in together. It's probably even just 1. But number 1, I wanted to be very transparent with you, because yes, while things turned out to be amazing, it turned out to be wonderful. I ended up with calendars that I absolutely love. People have been, so just awesome in their understanding, patience, love, and support. It's been great. People have also been buying the old calendars, which has been great as well. So things turned out wonderfully. However, I wanted to share the very valuable reminder that I realized along the way, which is there is no other. There is no other. No other, right? And so we are doing ourselves and others, although there is no other, a great service when we see them in their ideal. And that goes for corporations, that goes for stores. This was a store, right? Because stores are made of people. The people that made that calendar are people. Right? So seeing that store thriving, seeing that chain, it's actually a franchise chain, thriving, seeing people in their ideal, because there is no other. Wanted to share that with you. I can't wait to hear about what you got from this video, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Love you. Aloha.